All right, listen up, people. You've probably been living your lives thinking that pain is the villain in your story. Something you have to avoid at all costs. Something you need to numb with pills or distractions. But what if I told you that every scar, every horrible betrayal, every night you spent staring at the ceiling, wondering if you'd ever make it, that's not your downfall. No way. That's the raw material for your empire. Imagine taking that fire, turning the very thing that almost destroyed you into the fuel that sends you soaring to heights most people only dream about. I've walked some pretty tough roads myself, from the crazy streets of New York City to the quiet battles in boardrooms and back alleys, studying Machiavelli's stone-cold wisdom like it was the survival Bible. The Prince wasn't just a book. It was a blueprint for turning weakness into unyielding power. Stick with me, and by the end, you're going to see suffering not as some curse, but as your greatest freaking ally. And hey, while you're letting that sink in, drop a comment down below with where you're tuning in from. Whether it's the heart of Texas or some rainy corner in Seattle. Let's see how far this truth travels. Now, let's jump right in. You see, in this soft world we've created, where comfort is king and everybody's chasing the next easy fix, we've forgotten the ancient truth that Machiavelli laid bare. Real change doesn't blossom in luxury. It explodes out of necessity's cold grip. Weak minds crave the warmth of safety blankets, running from storms like scared rabbits. But that softness, it's like a silent killer, dulling your edge until you're just another face in the crowd, devoured by the very world you were trying to hide from. I've seen it time and again over the years. Guys who only hit the gym when they feel like it, who crumble under pressure because they've never really embraced the grind. Pain isn't optional. It's the price you pay for greatness. Every empire in history crumbled when its leaders got too comfortable, too hooked on the easy life. Think about Rome, bloated and lazy, falling to barbarians who knew what it was like to be hungry. Right now, you're at a crossroads. You can cling to illusions of fairness, or you can step into the fire willingly. Train your body to endure the miles. Train your mind to hold firm when everything around you is screaming chaos. Demand the struggle that burns away mediocrity. Because necessity sharpens your spirit like nothing else can. Machiavelli put it plain and simple. It's only when people are really pressed that they show their true character. Don't be the fool dying in comfort's cage. Turn your suffering into unbreakable steel. Comment below. Comfort is my enemy. Struggle is my strength. Now, let's talk about killing attachment. It's the leash that chokes the life out of strong men before they even get started. You hold on tight to people, to stuff, to your status, like they're your lifelines. But all that does is hand your power over on a silver platter. The world can smell your desperation a mile away, and it pounces. Machiavelli warned us, dependence is weakness in its purest form, making you predictable, easy to manipulate, ripe for the taking. Everything you clutch, your bank account, your title, even your closest allies, can vanish in a heartbeat. I've lost fortunes on bad deals, watched friends turn on me when things got tough. And let me tell you, if your sense of self crumbles with them, you're done. You're just borrowing strength from illusions. The ruthless fix? Sever those ties. Stand alone in the void, independent and unyielding. Love without needing. Possess without idolizing. Lead as if it could all burn down tomorrow, because it might. When loss comes, and it will, whether it's in the form of betrayal or death, you'll rob it of its power. Turn that detachment into a weapon of freedom. Walk away from the ruins unshaken, while everybody else is wailing and collapsing. Burn the chains, rise unbound. I've rebuilt my life from ashes more than once, drawing on Machiavelli's insight that true power lies in self-sufficiency. Nothing owns you when you've killed the need. Comment below. Nothing owns me. I walk untethered. Presence. That's the silent thunder that commands attention without you having to say a word. Most guys shuffle through life like shadows, fading into the background, desperate for a nod of approval, shrinking under the slightest glare. But you're built for dominance. Machiavelli knew that how people perceive you trumps reality every single time. Men are swayed more by appearances than by facts. Forge your presence into a blade. Control your stance, your quiet, your gaze, so that you hit 'em like a ton of bricks before you even open your mouth. People should feel your gravity, your unshakable calm, making them second-guess everything. This ain't arrogance, it's mastery. Discipline your body. No twitching, no frenzy. Sharpen your voice so it cuts deep, deliberate and heavy. Let your eyes pierce through masks, unsettle the weak. I've commanded negotiations where my silence alone closed deals, drawing from years of facing down adversaries in America's most cutthroat arenas. The world yields to that inevitability. Weaklings chase validation. You radiate it. True presence comes from inner steel. Embrace pain, ditch attachments, burn out any trace of frailty. When you stand, you embody authority. When you speak, it's a decree. When you're silent, the air thickens, bending wills. Power hunts you down. Don't fake it, or you'll look like a fool. Build it from the core, and watch alliances form without you even begging. Comment below. My presence is my power. Betrayal. It's not a glitch in the system. It is the system itself. Expect it. Welcome it. Because at some point, trust is gonna shatter. Allies flip. Friends get envious. Lovers falter. The naive will whine about it, clinging to fairy tales of eternal loyalty. But Machiavelli saw through that nonsense. People are fickle, chasing their own self-interest, ditching you the second the winds shift. Don't break, transform. Every backstab proves you're a threat worth targeting, weeding out the weak from your inner circle. It sharpens your self-reliance, your vigilance, your clarity. The survivor emerges untouchable, spotting cracks in facades, playing cards close to the chest, guarding their heart. Betrayal liberates, teaching you that dependence kills. Trust is a gamble, but power endures. Stop fearing it, embrace it, and no scheme can touch you. Thank the traitors. They're your toughest teachers, and those scars are your armor. I've been stabbed in business partnerships that went south, but each time I rose sharper, colder. Stand in that fire and emerge unyielding. Don't curse, learn. Every knife forges you anew. Comment below. The trail sharpens my steel, commanding your emotions. That's the iron fist of real power. Without it, you're just a puppet, jerked around by rage, fear, lust, grief. Insults make you explode, rejections crush you, uncertainties paralyze you. That's no life, that's slavery. Machiavelli nailed it. Conquer yourself before you even think about conquering armies. Emotional mastery turns your enemy's provocations into nothing, manipulators' baits into dust. Feel the anger? Channel it into strategy. Fear? Hone it into caution. Desire? Bend it to your will. It's not about being numb, it's about precision weaponry. Become the calm eye in the hurricane, unreadable, unsettling. People dread what they can't predict or poke. Your face is stone, your voice steady, your moves calculated. Inside, storms rage just like anyone else's, but you harness them inward. Picture battlefields, chaos everywhere, but one figure stands serene, commanding the tides. Be that figure. Train daily. Silence slights. Ignore temptations. Stay steady in the middle of turmoil. Each resistance builds your grip. Your emotions become troops under your orders, striking true. Lose control, and you're prey. Rule them, and you rule everything. I've tamed my demons through hard-knock lessons across America's diverse landscapes. From the frenzy of Wall Street to the solitude of the Midwest. Weak men serve their feelings. You wield them. Comment below. I command myself. I command the world. Pain is not your enemy. It's the raw currency of transformation. Most people drown in their suffering, numbing it with booze, screens, or hollow pleasures, wasting their agony on fleeting escapes. But you're different. Every sleepless night, every heartbreak, every public failure is your forge, not your grave. The weak weep, the strong build. Discipline is born in the crucible of pain because it's the refusal to break under its weight. When your body screams to quit, discipline drives you forward. When your mind begs for rest, discipline demands focus. When temptation claws at you, discipline chains you to your purpose. I've been there, gritting my teeth through lean years, rebuilding after losses in markets and trust, learning that pain is the fire that tempers steel. It whispers, surrender, but you must demand its challenge. Pain proves you're alive, proves you're getting sharper. Discipline isn't some fleeting spark like motivation, which fizzles out the second your mood shifts. Discipline is iron, indifferent to feelings, obedient only to necessity. You can't forge it in comfort's cradle. It's hammered out in the heat of struggle. Every time you rise when you'd rather sleep, work when you'd rather rest, stay cold when others collapse, you're building a fortress of will. The world will hurl chaos at you. Betrayals, setbacks, raw pain. But discipline keeps you standing, unbowed, unyielding. Pain is the flame, discipline the blade, and you are the blacksmith. Use suffering to sculpt a self that's greater than flesh, fear, or fate. Comment below. Pain builds my discipline. Discipline builds my power. Silence. Don't ever underestimate its weight. The world is drowning in noise, people spilling their fears, their insecurities, and their half-baked thoughts, mistaking chatter for strength. But every loose word exposes weakness, lays bare your hand, surrenders control. Silence, though, that's a weapon that's sharper than steel. It unsettles, it commands, it pulls others into its orbit, forcing them to babble, to confess, to reveal. Machiavelli knew that rulers hold power by concealing their minds, showing only what strengthens their grip. A silent man becomes a mirror, reflecting others' doubts while hiding his own. Picture a room buzzing with egos. Everyone's scrambling for attention. You walk in, calm, steady, wordless. Your stillness draws eyes, makes them wonder what you're plotting, why you don't join the fray. That's authority, earned not by shouting but by restraint. When you speak, your words hit like thunder because they're rare, deliberate, chosen with care. Silence isn't weakness, it's strategy, making you unreadable, untouchable. The undisciplined can't stand quiet. They fill it with nervous chatter. But you wield it like a blade. I've walked into high-stakes deals across American cities, from the towers of Chicago to the heat of Miami, and I've learned that silence can close more doors than eloquence ever could. Train yourself to say less, to reveal less, and let silence work its magic. Lions don't roar endlessly. Their presence alone demands respect. Be that lion. Comment below. My silence is my throne. Detachment is your ultimate freedom, the key to dominating a world that thrives on binding men with invisible chains. When you crave approval, they manipulate you with flattery. When you need love, they leash you with affection. When you chase wealth, they dangle promises to enslave you. Fear of loss? That's the tightest chain of all. Machiavelli taught that a ruler has got to be cold enough to walk away from anything. Love, pity, security, when necessity demands it. Detachment isn't apathy, it's clarity. Owning everything, but owned by nothing. You act while others are drowning in emotion. You see the game while they're blinded by need. I've cut ties with partners who were holding me back, walked away from deals that smelled of compromise, all because I learned to stand free. Detachment makes you unpredictable, and unpredictability is power. No threat shakes you, no bribe sways you, no loss breaks you. Weak men cling to outcomes, terrified of collapse. You know you can rebuild, walk away, rise again. Train yourself in this ruthlessness. When your heart clings, cut it loose. When your mind obsesses, pull it back. You choose when to invest, when to withdraw, never enslaved by either. While others are trembling over what they might lose, you're already moving, burning bridges, building empires, untouched by the fire. Freedom is dominance, and detachment is its foundation. Comment below. Nothing binds me. I am untouchable. Fear is the invisible hand that rules men's souls. Not logic, not fairness, not ideals, but raw, primal fear. Machiavelli saw it clear as day. It's better to be feared than loved, because love fades, but fear burns deep. Unforgettable. Weak men crave likability, harmlessness, but that makes them disposable, forgotten. You must be formidable, projecting an aura that makes crossing you feel perilous. This isn't about cruelty or reckless threats. It's about presence, discipline, the quiet certainty that you won't hesitate when action's required. Men should sense, even if it's unspoken, that disrespecting you carries a cost. Fear sharpens loyalty. It deters betrayal. It builds respect where affection fails. But balance is key. Too much fear breeds hate, and hate breeds rebellion. The art is in consistency. Never bluff. Always deliver. If you set a boundary, defend it. If you promise consequences, follow through. I've seen it in boardrooms and in barrooms alike. A reputation for follow-through makes your name carry real weight. You don't need to shout or strike. Your presence alone becomes leverage. Fear isn't about being loathed. It's about being unforgettable. Men bow to strength, not kindness. Embrace fear as a master, not a victim, and your shadow will command respect long after you've left the room. Comment below. Fear is my weapon. Respect is my shadow. Finally, the law of transformation ties it all together. The cold, unrelenting truth that binds every man who rises from ashes to power. Suffering, discipline, detachment. They're not punishments. They're the crucible where greatness is forged. Machiavelli knew that men aren't lifted by comfort, but remade by necessity's fire. Every wound you've carried, every failure that nearly buried you, wasn't meant to crush you. It was meant to shape you. The world handed you raw material, scars, betrayals, losses. Weak men suffer and stay weak. You suffer and become something else. Harder, sharper, untouchable. This isn't automatic. It demands choice. Use every wound as fuel, every setback as training, every loss as a lesson. Build discipline over chaos, calm over rage, silence over desperation. Kill the illusions, comfort, attachment, validation, and rise as presence, command, inevitability. I've rebuilt my life across America's vast stages, from the grind of startup failures to the triumphs of hard-won deals. Each scar a testament to this law. Transformation demands sacrifice. Bury the old self. Burn the boy. Carve out the man. The world respects only power. Over yourself, your emotions, your circumstances, and others' minds. Storms will rage, knives will strike, but you'll stand unbent, iron in flesh, silence in storm. Power incarnate. That's transformation. That's the law. Comment below. I rise through suffering. I am transformation.